previous meeting were distributed. That was back in January of 2025. If you've looked them over, have any objections? With no objections, then the minutes are approved. We're meeting today to consider the ethics complaint filed against Senator Webster by Jennifer Olsen. The committee was provided with official notice of the complaint under Senate Code of Ethics Rule 15 on February 27, 2026. Senator Winckler and I met briefly as provided by Senate Code of Ethics Rule 18A and determined that the complaint substantially complies with the Code of Ethics and Iowa Code Section 68B.31, subsection 6. That was held on March 3rd, 2026. As such, Senator Webster was given 10 days to file his response, and he did so within the allowable time frame. That was conducted on March 12th, 2026. Under Senate Code of Ethics Rule 18G, the next step is a committee meeting, which is why we're here today. As a reminder, this is a committee meeting, not a public hearing. So there'll be no new evidence presented and no comments from the complainant, respondent, or the public at this meeting. Ms. Olsen's complaint stems from a post on Senator Webster's personal Facebook page in which he shared a screenshot of an email message she sent to him, which included her signature block containing publicly available contact information for her law practice. She alleges that Senator Webster violated the Senate Code of Ethics Rule 12A and 12B and doxed her. She alleges that Senator Webster published this email with the intent to retaliate against and harass her. Ms. Olsen also mentions that another individual threatened her via phone to her office 3 days after the post. Ms. Olsen made a police report based on that individual's alleged phone call to the Davenport Police. That allegation is outside of this committee's jurisdiction since neither party to the complaint is a member of the Senate, not a lobbyist, nor are they a client of the lobbyist that we're aware of. In the copy of the post shared by Mrs. Olsen in her complaint, Senator Webster's personal Facebook post sharing the email specifically stated that he believes all people deserve respect regardless of politics. When he learned of others taking the post out of hand, he voluntarily removed it to avoid escalation or harm. Senator Webster's personal post did not share private contact information of Ms. Olsen, nor was the suggestion of the post that others should reach out to her in any way. In fact, he specifically mentions in his post his belief in respectful political discourse. Because of this, I believe the conduct alleged does not violate the Senate Code of Ethics or Iowa Code Chapter 68B and would support a motion to dismiss. Senator Shipley, you're in order.
I move that we dismiss the complaint for failure to meet the statutory I'm sorry. I move that we dismiss the complaint for failure to meet the statutory and Code of Ethics requirements for valid complaints.
Okay, we have a motion. Further discussion? Anyone? Senator Winckler, you're in order.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I do not support this particular motion. The Senate Ethics Committee is not necessarily a committee that members aspire to serve on, as we are called to judge the conduct of our fellow colleagues. But we accept the assignment because we believe that it says that the preamble of our Code of Ethics that we owe a duty to uphold the integrity and honor of the General Assembly. We believe, Senator Staed and Senator Petersen and myself believe that under Senate Rule 18G3, he violated the Ethics Code. And we believe that we should notify the respondent that we are taking action on all three sections, which would result in issuing an admonishment to Senator Webster against the conduct that formed the basis of the complaint, and for him to exercise care in the future. We would issue an order for Senator Webster to cease and desist the conduct that formed the basis for the complaint, and recommend that the Senate reprimand Senator Webster for his actions. The reason that we feel that way is that Senator Webster and Representative Gary Moore received a strongly worded email from the constituent Jennifer Olsen on January 9th. She sent the email to 2 individuals that represent her at the State House and is not sent to anyone beyond those 2. One can certainly question the tone and the temperament of her email, but her email did not contain any threats and called on her elected officials to speak to behavior she viewed as unacceptable in the Republican Party. The email that both legislators received was sent from Ms. Olsen's law firm email address and contained in the body of the message the confidentiality clause that quoted, "Information received and accompanying documents are covered under Electronic Communication Privacy Act 18 U.S.C. Nonetheless, Senator Webster ignored the confidentiality clause and ignored the fact that this was a private email from a constituent, and published the email, including contact information, but neglected to publish the confidentiality clause. The Facebook post released all personal contact information of the complainant and opened the complainant up to both personal threats and public harm for her business. For example, once posted, numerous people commented that they had conducted business with Ms. Olsen in the past but would refrain in the future, now that her personal views were known. Others commented on her character, legal abilities, and directed a variety of unpleasantries toward her. As a public official, many things are said to us that are deemed inappropriate. But to share confidential communication with personal information included in a public Facebook post is targeting and intimidation. More troubling, the Facebook post resulted in a physical threat to Ms. Olsen's safety and caused an incident report to be opened with the Davenport Police Department. The status of that is unknown. Members of the public have an expectation of privacy when emailing their elected officials. The Iowa General Assembly has long followed the Dwyer decision that all correspondence with members is confidential and not subject to release. Not only that, in this case, we have a constituent who explicitly has a confidentiality clause in their email, yet Senator Webster violated the clause. For this reason, we believe that enforcing 18G3A is appropriate and would advise Senator Webster to use care in the future. Second, Senator Webster's email thread in the complaint states that he, quote, is starting my posting of constituent emails for opinions, and this will be the first for the public to see, end quote. The committee has no knowledge if Senator Webster is continuing to publish or post other private emails on his public Facebook page and feel issuing an order to cease and desist the conduct that formed the basis for the complaint is a proper course of action. Last, a public reprimand is an appropriate measure as harassment is defined in Iowa Code, Section 708.7, took place to cause annoyance and harm. The posting unquestionably caused both personal and professional harm to the complainant's character and law practice as cited throughout the complaint. I don't understand how you can dismiss a case with such blaring evidence that it truly met the code chapter and the ethics on harassment. We as representatives and senators always take the information that we receive as a representative or a senator personally and take it with confidentiality. That has been violated. And to publish a post including personal information that brought personal harm to both herself and her business is so very inappropriate. I'm disappointed that this motion is before us.
Thank you. Further comments? Senator Staed, you're in order.
I oppose the dismissing of this as well for reasons of the seriousness of what happened. There were real consequences for the publishing of this on the Post. I have for me the Davenport Police Department summary of the incident, and I'd like to read some of the narrative. I sent my state senator, Scott Webster, an email on or about January the 10th. He replied with an email telling me that he doxed me by posting the private email on his Facebook page. On January the 13th at about 9 a.m., a man named Barry Waldron called my office and left a verbal threat with my assistant, Brent Adams. Barry Waldron advised that he was upset by the email I sent to Scott Webster, and that he was going to ruin me, and that he was going to ambush me, and was threatening in his words and tone. He basically told me to watch my back. I have to take this as a threat to my safety. He appears to be aligned with Scott Webber, and the both of them appear to be working together. The email I sent was stating some pretty serious but substantiated accusations that would be taken as political. In a day and age of political violence, I'm worried for my safety and would like charges pressed against Scott Webber and Barry Waldron. At least I would like a no trespass for my home and business, or for the police to call them both with a cease and desist order. I just want them to stop the threats and the apparent inciting of violence against me on social media. I will ambush you as a threat to my safety, and I want something done about it. Scott Webster, he is a state senator, and Barry Waldron is his friend. They are both from LeClaire. I'm just looking to document the threats these men have made against me and to get them to stop. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Senator Petersen, you're in order.
Thank you. I also do not support the motion on the table, and I have concerns about Senator Webster's response to the ethics complaint. That information in his response is not accurate. He says the information referenced in my social media post was the exact text the complainant voluntarily sent to an elected official and the contact information that she herself placed in her email signature, and that is publicly available. He goes on to say no confidential information was disclosed. It was not the exact text. He left off the confidentiality information that was included in her email, and so for him to say it was the exact text and that no confidential information was disclosed is just not true. I believe that her complaint has merit.
Any further comments? Okay, the motion is to dismiss the complaint for failure to meet the statutory and code of ethics requirements for valid complaints under the Senate Code of Ethics Rule 18G2. Those who are in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those who oppose will vote nay. How would you like to? Roll call. Okay, roll call vote has been called for.
Senator Evans?
Aye.
Senator Shipley.
Aye.
Senator Winckler.
No.
Senator Dawson.
Aye.
Senator Petersen. No. Senator Staed.
And the vote is 3-3, so the motion fails. Yes, you're in order.
Thank you. I would like to move that we take action on the complaint before us under Section Rule, Senate Rule 18G3, and notify the respondent we are taking action on all 3 sections of that code, identifying that that he takes care in the future that he would cease and desist the contact that formed the basis for the complaint, and recommend that the Senate reprimand Senator Webster for his actions.
Any comment? Okay, we had a motion, we took action on it. Sorry, we had a motion, we took action on it. That motion fails, so there's no further business for today's meeting.
I just made a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I misinterpreted. Okay, so we have a motion as presented by Senator Winckler to reprimand. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, further comments on the motion? Hearing none. Senator Winckler, how would you like to vote?
Roll call, please.
Okay, roll call vote has been called for. No. Again, the tally is 3-3, so the motion fails. Seeing no further business, Senator Dawson moves we adjourn.